I'm Dominique Lay, your neighborhood reporter in Waco. Several pieces of legislation from President Donald Trump's Big Beautiful Bill are going into effect this year. And one of them that many of us are anticipating are the no taxes on overtime. But what does that mean and who does it impact? I'm breaking it down.
Since I was itty bitty, I have always known that I wanted to be in the medical field.
Avery Harrell is going on 11 years as a nurse. In her profession, 40-hour plus work weeks are the norm.
I would say that fairly often we get a decent amount of overtime just because we're already working those 12-hour shifts. And if you pick up just one extra, that automatically puts you into that overtime slot.
While workers like nurses, first responders, and factory workers qualify for overtime and get paid time and a half for those hours, sometimes it doesn't always reflect in their paycheck. But with President Donald Trump's Big Beautiful Bill, the no tax on overtime legislation could change that.
Having somebody step in and be more willing to help out because they know that they're not going to be taxed on that overtime, it will make a huge difference. I've already had some of my nurses be like, hey, well, if there's overtime when this happens, you just let me know. I'm like, okay, thanks. So
here's what you need to know. No tax on overtime is a deduction and not an exemption. So if you're filing single, the max deduction is capped out at $12,500. For filing jointly, that's capped out at $25,000. So let's say, for example, your salary is $50K and you worked enough overtime hours to hit $10,000 worth of overtime pay. That means you're only going to get taxed on $40,000. So what happens if you don't remember how many overtime hours you've worked? Don't worry, because that's up to your employer. They must provide that information on your W-2 form. The legislation only applies to federal income taxes. It doesn't cover state and local income taxes, but if you live in Texas, there's no income tax. Lastly, the deduction is set to expire in 2028 unless extended by further legislation. Harold tells me this is going to make a huge financial difference for her and her fellow nurses.
Having that little bit of extra coming off of the taxes and not having to pay that extra in for all of the extra work that we put in throughout the year would make a huge difference. I mean, that's somebody's vacation every single year. I talked with a CPA and they tell me because of these new changes coming to the tax forms, they're expecting to see a lot of new clients from occupations they wouldn't typically see. For more information on this exemption, you can visit our website. Reporting in Waco, I'm Dominique Lay.